So dear chess lovers, Coach Reacts series continues today with a game of Lindell from Germany. He's around 1428 on chess.com. He just sent one of his games to me that he played in rapid format on chess.com, 15+10. Thank you so much, Lindell, for sending your game to me. We'll soon listen to you talking and I will give you my live reactions. If you like this format, folks, please send one of your games to me while recording yourself, laying down your thoughts and evaluations and so on, and I will give you my live reactions. Okay, so we are now hearing Lindell speaking while I will stop at key moments and give you my observations. Let's continue.
Welcome guys to my analysis of my last game on chess.com. It was a 15-10 game and I was playing with the black pieces. White was playing e4, I was playing c5, Sicilian Defense. And on...
Oh my god, what is e5? What is e5? He's wasting time in the opening by pushing the pawn again. I don't like to see this move. Let's talk about opening principles, okay? He's breaking so many opening principles by playing this move. So you should be very happy, Lindell, that you've seen e5.
The second move, White was playing e5, and here I was already out of book.
Sure.
By the way, I'm looking at this game without the analysis
That's
on,
good.
So it's just
without the engine.
My analysis. I'll try to explain my moves as good as I can.
Thank you.
So here I was out of book and
yes, you're out of book, but you should use your opening principles, no? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter that you don't know the moves here. You should be just very happy to see the move e5. Now you will use your chess understanding and logical thinking to sort of play against this move. Let's see what you did here.
I figured that his pawn is preventing my knight from coming to f6.
That's the only advantage, in fact.
And I want to contest it immediately, so I figured knight c6 would develop my piece.
Very good.
A knight and also attack this pawn, also controlling the d4 square again.
Great.
He played knight f3, also controlling these two squares. And I think I was playing d6 here, yeah. I wanted to trade off his very strong pawn.
You could have also considered queen c7 at that moment, just to attack the pawn directly, right? That's the most forcing move. Can even defend that pawn, right? Queen c7 also comes to my mind.
Who's controlling important squares in my camp immediately. So these two pawns. He was pinning my knight.
Logical.
Here I was really scared what to do. But I figured that through transposition, this is just like a normal Sicilian defense with bishop b5 check.
Right.
Blocked with knight c6 and then e5.
Right.
Which I play knight c6 against bishop e5 check on the third move. So when then someone would play e5, I think I would just attack his bishop.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
Aha. Evaluation phase, guys. What is in black's favor? What is in white's favor here? To my mind, white has a lead in development, and that's the only thing that is working for white in this position, no? Like, white gave up the bishop pair and so on, but if there's something that is in white's favor, better lead in development. If you look at black's king side, there are so many sleeping pieces, and it's not clear how we develop our army as well, right? So you should keep this in mind right now, Lindell. If white has any advantage, that's their lead in development. So that will shape your middle game strategy. Let's see how you treat this position.
I took back with the pawn. I really don't mind the isolated pawn and the doubled pawns.
No.
Because this pawn just controls extra space in the center.
Exactly.
So I really like this line. That's why I play knight c6 against bishop b5 check. Okay, he played d4.
Yeah.
I didn't think for a while. I just took the pawn because, yeah, that's why I play c5 to prevent d4.
Yes.
And now I've got rid of one of my doubled c pawns, so I'm really happy here. After he took back with the queen, I wasn't so sure what to do. I wanted to play c5 and then d5, but I wasn't sure if after c5 he would maybe go back to e3 or c3. He would keep an eye on the c5 pawn, so I couldn't play d5. But either of these moves I would be kind of happy, because this blocks his knight and his c-pawn, and this blocks his bishop.
But I want you to have a broader picture here, broader evaluations. You're looking so much like move by move stuff. No, just take a step back, ask yourself, what are the imbalances here? As I mentioned, your pieces are sleeping on the king side, and white is better developed. They will castle short, play knight c3 and so on. Free developments for white. So, because if you look at this bigger picture, good ideas will come to your mind naturally. Otherwise, you're sort of, like a tunnel vision. I'm looking at c5, d5. What's the broader plan here? Because you need to look at this piece placement in the middle game. Which pieces is going where in black's camp? Because future belongs to you, right? We have the bishop pair, beautiful control in the center, like future belongs to you. But you have developmental issues to be solved. If you consolidate your position, you'll be better. So this should be your general strategic guidance from this position, right? So then we can discuss, maybe we should close down the game with moves like d5, perhaps, yeah, because d5 closes down the center and might give you more time, right, to develop your king side. Let's see what you thought about this position, if you have ever have such considerations.
And I could play d5 later, maybe defend this pawn with queen c7. So I played c5.
Okay.
He went to d5, attacking my rook.
Right.
So I had to move this bishop. I played bishop e6 because, yeah, it's blocking my e-pawn, but I wanted to put my bishop on g7 anyways, to put pressure on the e5 pawn.
You're gaining time.
He was playing queen c6 check.
Please
I
avoid
had to
the
go
blunder.
back with my bishop, otherwise if I block with the queen I would lose the rook.
That would be a blunder.
He was going back. I offered one repetition, but I wasn't going for a draw.
Soviet school of chess.
I wasn't sure yet what to do if he's repeating again. Maybe bishop f5. Yeah, wait a second. If he got queen c6 again... Oh, he could basically force a draw, because I had to go back anyways.
I don't think that's 3 repetition.
Interesting.
I think it's only
Luckily,
2 times that
he didn't play queen c6.
So Lindell is thinking that if white went queen c6 check, it will be threefold, but I think it's just a twofold, right? It's not, that position did not occur 3 different times. So that would not be a repetition.
Even though he would gain, I think, 3 points for a draw. Luckily for me. So he went back with the queen, e4.
It's a key moment, by the way. What would you play with black in this position, folks? I'm very curious. Again, the right move, I think, should appear once you look at the big picture. We need time to develop our king side. But white is better developed. They are ready to fight. They are ready to open up the center and fight. So I would say d5 is the correct move here. Strategically speaking, d5 must be correct, because you're slowly consolidating, you're closing down the game for the moment, and then you'll get the pieces out at some point, yeah, in different shapes and forms. But we need to maybe close the center right now, yeah? Let's see what you did.
This I really liked. I could play d5 with a tempo now.
Please do. It's not so much about tempo, but about general strategic understanding, right?
But first, I wanted to develop my king side to castle first.
Yeah, that's also logical, but I guess you're allowing some e takes d6, and then knight g5 stuff, no? Like white has to play actively, and maybe that's the only thing that is in white's favor. So ed, knight g5 is what I'm seeing.
So I played g6. Yeah, just preparing development. Oof. Here he played knight d2.
That's a bad move, no?
I don't want to sound harsh, but I really thought that was a...
You should sound harsh, Lindell, because he's blocking his bishop, and that knight was much better placed on c3, right? It's also eyeing the d5 square and so on.
For move, I don't understand it. Like, He maybe wants to go to b3,
b3
but
is nothing. It is still a terrible
his
piece.
knight isn't very active there, and he can't go to c4 because of this fork.
Fork.
And
nice.
This just blocks in his bishop, so I really didn't like this move. Maybe he wanted to go to f1 and then maybe e3 or something.
Again, imbalances. White should have played much more energetically because the future belongs to black, right? So ed, knight g5, or just castle short, or knight c3. Some sort of a more forward developing move, right?
Something. Yeah, I didn't understand this move. He had the chance to maybe grab a bigger development lead here. He didn't, because this now hinders his further development.
Yes.
So I played bishop g7. I wasn't 100% sure to do what to do with this knight yet. I had two ideas. First was to go knight h6 and then to f5, which I liked. And then I was thinking about moving this bishop and playing e6.
But that's too
and then putting my knight on e7 to control more important squares than here on h6. But I really didn't found a good square for this bishop. I couldn't go back to c8 because this would leave my rook unprotected. I didn't like going to d7 because I couldn't play e6 then because my d6 pawn would be falling. Yeah, the only move I maybe should have considered was bishop f5.
Or as I said, d5, first close down the center, then bishop f5, e6, knight e7 and so on, right? You need to close the center first because white is ready for the fight. After ed, knight g5, he's also opening up the e file and so on, yeah? White wants to open the game and you want to keep it closed because you need time for development. It's as simple as that. I want you to look at the bigger picture, right? Higher order thinking. That's great for learning any complex material. So I want you to engage in this higher order concepts. Development, open or close the game. That will give you great candidate move ideas, Lindell, right?
Which attacks the queen. But after the queen moves, I feel like my bishop is kind of misplaced. I could maybe lose it to knight h4, but I didn't calculate this deeper to waste not too much time. And I went with knight h6. Because this just looked very solid. Here he made a blunder, playing knight c4. Of course, a very bad move.
Pawn fork is coming.
As I've explained earlier, this just hangs a piece.
See how abundant those blunders are at this level. See how much your chess floor will be raised if you would fix this problem. Before playing knight c4, white is not asking whether it allows a tactic, right? He doesn't see the alignment of the knight and the queen, which is allowing a pawn fork. Tactical vision, so important, but used in a defensive context. That's even more important, right?
No further tactics, no in-between checks or something. I just win a piece here.
Bravo, Lindell.
Now I'm completely winning, of course. I liked my position before his blunder. I think it's equal, maybe a little bit better for me. I have the bishop pair. I forgot to notice this. I got the bishop pair very early.
Yes.
Also,
but if there's something that is in white's favor, that's better development. Thus, white should take on d6, followed by knight g5, hitting your bishop, pinned bishop. White must strike when the iron is hot. If white keeps on waiting, you will castle short, you will get all the pieces to great squares, and you will have a much better position, right? Bishop pair, better center, and so on. So white should have strike in this position.
Pawn. Yeah, it gives white space advantage, but his pieces are kind of misplaced, especially this knight here.
Yes.
So I really like my position here. Yeah, of course, after this move, I was completely winning. He took here and played queen a4 check. Here I didn't want to drop this pawn, so I played bishop d7, queen d7.
Also good.
Yeah, I think queen d7 would have worked as well. In game, I thought bishop d7 only moved to attack this queen, so I have time to protect this. And now I made a mistake myself. I wanted to protect this pawn, so I wanted to move the bishop so the queen protects it. And I figured I wasn't sure if bishop f4, f5 is better or bishop e6, but bishop f5 would
In the way of the knight.
remove the square for the knight. And I thought bishop e6 looks good. It blocks the e-file, and also my queen protects the pawn, completely overlooking that the queen is now protecting this
counting
pawn.
rule, two versus one.
But it's not the end of the world, because now my bishop is active, and also I will win this pawn back either way with just knight f5. Here I was thinking about castling on knight f5, but I think I have no problems on the e-file. And why leave this pawn here? So I played knight f5 instantly. Yeah, I think I took the pawn here. No, I was castling first, getting out of this pin.
Right.
Even though I don't think there were any problems with this pin. But why not? Bringing the king in safety. Okay, he was playing knight g5, going after my bishop. So I'm up a piece, so maybe I would be fine trading off one of my bishops for his knight, giving up my bishop pair. I mean, I'm up a piece. So
that's also fine,
yeah. Took this pawn.
Simplify.
In my calculation, I missed that I'm losing this pawn at the end, and his rook would become very active. But again, it's not the end of the world.
No.
I really like my bishop here, putting pressure on b2. My rook has a file.
Beautiful.
I was pretty happy here.
I would play, please start the video, folks. What should black play in this position? That knight is hanging and that rook is white's only active piece. So please tell me the move. You're a great player if you found the move rook a e8. That will be my choice. I'm 100% sure that's the best move, because my worst place piece challenges white's only active piece. Also, my knight cannot be captured because of rook e1 mate. Right? Very short calculation, and I'm forcing a rook trade. After takes, my rook is shining. I have an extra piece, and look at your pieces. I left white with two sleeping pieces on the queen side. Completely winning advantage for black. Now we are talking about technical phase. Let's see what Lindell played in this position.
Even though I lost the pawn. So here I really didn't want to play rook d8 because it's kind of passive. I did it at the end.
No.
I was looking at rook f6, then rook e7.
Yeah, Lindell.
But I really didn't like his
board vision, right? Very quick tactics, back rank issues. You need to get better at this. Yeah, very basic tactical motifs like the back rank and using tactics to serve your strategic goal. What is your strategic goal? Is to simplify the position because you have an extra piece, right? You want to trade off that rook on e6. So rook e8 must be a candidate move for you. You want to challenge and trade off that rook. And very short calculation would ensure that you're forcing the rook trade. So you need to get better at such short calculations that serves your strategic goal. I made a chessable course about this as well. The art of exchanging pieces. You're exchanging off white's only active piece by rook a e8.
Rook on the e7 square, and also his bishop can now move freely because my bishop isn't attacking the b2 pawn anymore. So I kind of didn't like rook f6. Moving the knight, I didn't really. So let's say, for example, knight f5. I really didn't like his rook over here, so I figured that if I play rook d8.
Too passive. White only is a single rook. Why are you so scared about? That's complete phantom fear. That rook is isolated piece in the middle of your camp. You have so many good pieces. So there's nothing to be scared about by a single, because I don't want you to play passive chess just because you have phantom fears. Right? So that's what I mentioned this to you, Lindell. Yeah, fight against those tendencies that you get scared about the piece that just crosses down the 5th rank or something. Right? Just be more objective.
I can just go rook e8 next, then trade off his rook, which seemed best for me. He was blocking my bishop's vision to b2 with c3.
Rook e8, please. Rook e8, please.
Good move, I assume.
No.
So here I had the idea of playing rook d7 to prepare doubling my rooks.
Rook e8. Just exchange
and
off
also to play rook f6, trading off his rook while defending the knight and not allowing his rook to enter in the
too passive.
7th rank. He was playing bishop g5. I was a little bit stunned by this move
Yeah, because now
his bishop looks
e7
really
is coming,
good
yeah.
here. I was thinking of playing h6 g5, but then his bishop would come in here, which would just lose this game. So I figured rook e8 was the only move.
Finally!
Defended by the knight. I traded one pair of rooks, which I assume is a good thing. I'm up a piece.
Yes.
King
f7, please.
After I won this piece,
King f7.
At no point in the game thought I wouldn't be winning anymore. Bishop g5 was the only point in the game where I wasn't 100% sure, but I still assumed I was winning. I was trading off the rooks, removing his bishop. He offered a rook trade. I took it. For you. So here I had the problem that I couldn't just move my knight, because then I would lose the pawn. So I figured if I play knight c4, attacking this pawn, then if he takes my pawn, I'll take his pawn. And also if he plays b3, now my bishop is attacking the c3 pawn. So if I just move the knight, I'm still winning a pawn back if he takes this one.
But Lindell,
here I had the problem that
just to give you must give yourself more choices when it comes to calculation. Here, you don't even need to calculate knight c4, b3s. You can simply play the move bishop f8, and he can't challenge that c5 pawn anymore, right? Just simple bishop f8. If they trade the bishop, you're completely winning with an extra knight. Otherwise, you slowly improve your king. Everything is safe and protected. You're winning with a clear extra piece. So I would not even bother with calculating knight c4, b3s in this position. Just give yourself more choices.
Take his pawn. And also if he plays b3, now my bishop is attacking the c3 pawn. So if I just move the knight, I'm still winning a pawn back if he takes this one. So here I wasn't 100% sure where to put my knight. Of course, to keep this alive, I couldn't put my knight here. Also, of course, not here. This would be a blunder. Same goes for here. And if I put my knight on one of these squares after his bishop takes,
knight will be
it will be under attack, so I can't take here. So these two squares I didn't like either. So left were these three squares, from which I liked d2 the most, because it was the most active, cutting off his king, not at the edge. Yeah.
Very good.
So takes was played. He was playing g4. I was thinking of playing h5, but why?
Why now? You don't need it right now.
I thought maybe I'd just activate my king.
Of course,
before.
That's an endgame. You must move the king up.
h4 was played. Here I played h5. My idea was to fix his pawns on dark squares and mine on light squares. If he takes the same thing.
Right? He's freezing.
So now this pawn is just
dark square.
I can attack it with my bishop, while my pawns can't be attacked by his bishop. And
you can even
then I figured out that I can even fork his king and this pawn. So now I'm definitely winning.
I like it. I very much like it, Lindell. Yes, king e6.
Yeah, just getting my knight to safety, activating my king. Here I had this nice idea of playing a5.
Deep freeze.
I'm fixing my pawn on dark squares, but my idea was to put my bishop here, so they protect each other. I know it has a name, I forgot it.
Deep freeze.
But I really like this, and then just attacking this pawn with my knight, which he can't protect with his pawn. He was sacrificing the pawn to get a passer himself.
Of course, that's the only chance.
Of course, I have 3 passers. I can just sacrifice my knight. This is what I did.
Cool.
I sacrificed my knight, and here he resigned.
Cool.
Yeah. This was my own analysis. I'm really looking forward to feedback. I'll check what the engine says. Oh, it gives me 90%.
90%. Cool.
I'm really happy about this. I only had one mistake. Okay, knight h6. Let me just check this one really quick.
Okay.
Takes. What if takes?
Yeah, knight g5, right? Yes. As I mentioned, that's White's only chance.
Attacking this.
Only chance. Again, I want you to verbalize, Lindell, why knight g5 is White's only chance. Because the only thing that is in White's favor here is their lead in development. So they need to open up the game. They need to attack something before it gets too late, right? So far, this was lacking in your annotations, analysis. I want you to reach that level of evaluation, higher order thinking. Because once you deeply understand those concepts, good moves and ideas and plans will appear to you. That's like a shortcut. You will discard certain moves out of principle. You have a structure in your approach to openings if you engage with those concepts of time, development, who should open up the game, who should close down the game in such moments, right? So I think it's a very instructive mistake that you allowed this knight g5 idea, right? Great learning moment.
Okay, attacking this. Queen d7.
Yeah, because the rook is hanging. You can't do that.
Takes, takes. Oh, of course, I can't play queen d7 here. Right. Okay, now he's putting pressure here. Okay, I see.
Okay, you see. Okay, you see. But
okay, I'll check
but it's not move by move, you know? I want you to engage in this logical connection. It's not like, you know, random luck that White had this knight g5, right? You're missing something there. I want you to verbalize why that line was working for White, right? That's a great learning moment, by the way, guys. I hope you're following my chain of thinking so far. That's real improvement takes place. That's how you get better at chess, yeah? By this deeper engagement, verbalizations and why questions. Because this way, right, there's structure to our thinking. I hope you like this episode, all of you folks. And thank you so much, Lindell, for sending me your game. Even though you won this game, there are still some instructive moments that we discussed. Overall, a well-played game, by the way. Congratulations. And finally, my final thoughts is that in that endgame that you're a piece up, right, you were too scared about that rook on e6. In fact, White has sleeping pieces on the queen side. You have so many beautiful pieces. There's nothing to be scared about. So rook e8, very short calculations, was solving all your problems and neutralizing White's only active piece. Again, I will leave you with this position where Lindell didn't play the move rook e8 using the back rank issues to force the rook trade, but he played passively. So, great game overall, Lindell. I hope I still told you some points. You told me to be harsh. I wasn't too harsh in this video, but I still pointed out some key issues that I saw that would be great for your improvement. Okay? Sicilian is a great opening, so keep on playing that while also engaging with those higher order concepts of development, time, the bishop pair, close down, opening up the game, right? Because this will give you great tools to get better at those Sicilian middle games. If you like this video, folks, please give me a like and subscribe. And please don't hesitate sending me one of your own games while you speak out loud and analyze an instructive game of yours. Ideally, rapid or classical game that you invested some cognitive resources in your decisions. All right, and I will catch you on the next episode of this series, The Chess Coach Reacts. Bye-bye.